Hello, and welcome to Learn to Communicate with me. Today's lesson, articles, nouns, and adjectives in Spanish. The name of a person, place, or thing is a noun. In Spanish, every noun has a gender. It either falls under masculine or feminine. Those are the two categories. Almost all nouns, which indicates there is an exception to the rule, almost all nouns that end in O are masculine, and almost all nouns that end in A are feminine. Take a look at the chart. We said that a noun is a person, place, or thing. All of these nouns are referring to people. All of these nouns are referring to a place. And all of these nouns are referring to things in Spanish. But they're going to fall under two categories. It's either a masculine noun ending in an O or a feminine noun ending in an A. The rule says almost all nouns. So there are nouns in this chart that are not ending in an O nor an A. Here we have el profesor. It's referring to a male teacher. It does not end in an O, but because I see the definite article el in front of it, I know that it's a masculine noun. El joven, la joven. Both of these nouns are ending in the consonant N, but because the definite article el is in front of it, I know that we're referring to a male teenager, and I know that we're referring to a female teenager because the definite article la is in front of it. Here's another noun that does not fit the rule ending in an O for masculine, ending in an A for feminine. La clase. This refers to a classroom. It's ending in an E, but because the definite article la is in front of it, that tells me that this is a feminine noun. La ciudad. City. It does not end in an O nor an A, but I know that it's a feminine noun because the definite article la is in front of it. Here's another example. El uniforme. It ends in an E, but I know that it's a masculine noun because the definite article el is in front of it. That indicates it's masculine. And here, televisión. It ends in an N, but I know that it's a feminine noun because the definite article la is in front of it. Let's talk about definite articles. The in English is called a definite article. It's also considered an adjective because it always precedes a noun. It modifies the noun. In Spanish, the definite article is either el or la. You use el for masculine nouns and la with feminine nouns. So here's the chart. These are all masculine nouns. They end in an O, so that's one way I can tell it's masculine. But also there's a definite article in front of it, el, which indicates masculine, and it means the boy. Over here, we have la muchacha. La means the. It ends in an A. I know it's feminine. It translates to the girl. Now, we also have plural forms. Look below. El muchacho is singular, but if I'm saying more than one boy, los muchachos. So the plural of el is los. When I want to make the noun plural, when it ends in a vowel, I just add s to make it plural. Los muchachos. La is singular, las is plural. So this becomes plural by adding an s. La muchacha, las muchachas. We have indefinite articles. In English, they are a, and some. The translation for a and an is un. A boy, un muchacho. A girl, una muchacha. The plural, some, is unos for masculine, unas for feminine. Unos, some boys. Unos muchachos, some boys. Unas muchachas, some girls. There are always exceptions to the rules. Note that when a noun ends in E, you have to learn whether it is masculine or feminine. So here are more examples. El continente, continent, the continent. La clase, the class. And the plural of these two words, los continentes, las clases. When it ends in a vowel, all we're doing is adding S to make it plural. You have to remember that the plural of el is los and the plural of la is las. Now, it's time for you to practice. Please pause the video at this time. Here are your correct answers. There are always rules with English grammar. There's always rules with Spanish grammar. So here are your rules for using a definite article in Spanish. You may pause the video to read the information. Now, let's talk about adjectives. An adjective is a word that describes or modifies a noun. In Spanish, unlike English, the adjective must agree with the noun in gender, as we said earlier, which is masculine or feminine, and number, singular or plural. Let's take a look at the examples. We learned the word el muchacho, the boy, but we want to describe the boy's nationality, the Mexican boy. So, el muchacho mexicano. Notice that the adjective is ending in an O to agree with the noun that it modifies or describes. When we make it plural, los muchachos, we have to make the adjective plural. Now, this is something that we don't do in English. In English, it would be the Mexican boys. But in Spanish, we have to make the adjective Mexican plural. So we add an S because it ends in a vowel to make it plural. Same thing here. La muchacha mexicana, the Mexican girl. When we talk about more than one girl, las muchachas mexicanas. So notice that it ends in an A because the gender is feminine. We're describing a female. And when we describe more than one female, we're adding an S to make it plural. And our adjective has to agree as well. It ends in an A, but we add an S to make it plural because we're describing more than one girl. Even with the adjectives ending in E, this is referring to a thing, el curso, the course. But to describe the course, to say that it's interesting, interesante. El curso interesante means the interesting course. It ends in an E. We're not going to change this to an O because we're describing a noun that's ending in an O. We're going to leave it as it is. However, if we're saying that more than one course is interesting, we do need to add an S at the end. Los cursos interesantes. Here, this is a feminine noun. We're not going to change this to an A. We're going to leave it as it is. It's the exception to the rule. Almost all nouns. This adjective is going to stay the same. We have the same rule with adjectives. Almost all adjectives are going to end in an O or an A, but not all of them. Almost all nouns are going to end in an O or an A, but not all of them. La clase interesante. When we make it plural, las clases, we add an S. It ends in a vowel, we add an S. Interesantes, we add an S to make it plural. Las clases interesantes, the interesting classes. Adjectives ending in a consonant. So here we have fácil. This means easy. El curso fácil, the easy course. If it's more than one class, that's easy. Los cursos fáciles. Here we added es to make it plural. So whenever the adjective or the noun ends in a consonant, to make it plural, we add es. Note that you use the masculine form when a group consists of both boys and girls. So here, our group consists of two boys. Juan y José son alumnos buenos. Masculine, because we're talking about two boys. Or good students. Notice the descriptive adjective is behind the noun that is modifying. It's ending in an O because we're describing two boys. And because we are describing two boys, we have to make this plural, ending in an S. María y Teresa son alumnas buenas. Good students. It's students. It's ending in an A because we're talking about María y Teresa. So we have to make it plural and we have to make it feminine. Good students. But when we talk about a male and a female, in the Spanish language, you always go with the masculine form. José y Teresa son alumnos buenos. They are good students, masculine and plural, even though we have a female that we're talking about in our subject. Here's a list of adjectives. Guapo, guapa. Handsome, attractive. Bonita, bonito. Bonito, bonita. Pretty. Feo, fea. Ugly. Moreno, morena. Dark hair, brunette. Alto, alta. Tall. Bajo, baja. Short. Bueno, buena. Good. Just a few adjectives I've added to the lesson. Cómico, cómica, funny. Serio, seria, serious. Ambicioso, ambiciosa, ambitious, hard worker. Perezoso, perezosa, lazy. Simpático, simpática, nice. Antipático, antipática, mean. Inteligente, notice it ends in an E, and it doesn't matter if it's a masculine or a feminine noun that you're using as adjective to describe, it's going to end in E. So, here is a practice activity. You have to change Carlos' name to Maria, which means that you're going to have to make some changes to the paragraph. So this is your paragraph. You're going to change this to Maria. Okay, so at this time, pause the video. Él means he, but change that to Maria. Carlos, Carlos, Carlos. Wherever it says Carlos, change it to Maria, but I'm indicating here, change that to Maria as well. You may pause the video at this time. Here are your correct answers. Maria es colombiana. It's ending in an A because you're describing Maria. Maria es morena. It's ending in an A because you're describing Maria. No es rubia. Blonde hair. She isn't a blonde. You're changing this to an A because you're describing Maria. You didn't have to do anything to inteligente because this applies to a masculine or feminine noun that you're describing. You change gracioso to graciosa. Maria es una. You have to change that article to una amiga buena. Here's more practice. Change the adjectives that are in parentheses to agree with the noun that it's modifying in the sentence. La escuela. La escuela. This has to agree with las clases. Las clases. Un curso. I'm pointing out all the nouns. Curso. Unos cursos. Cursos. All of these are the nouns, and an adjective has to agree with the noun in gender, masculine, feminine, and in number, singular, plural. You may pause the video. Here are your correct answers. This concludes our lesson on articles, nouns, and adjectives. Thank you. Please hit the like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Have a great day.